everybody, welcome to my new video series based around the game of StellarTactics. StellarTactics is a game under development. I can't call it a new game because it's already a few years in early access, but it's still under development, and as you can see in the bottom right corner, chapter 2 of the main story isn't even finished yet. Despite all of that, the game is pretty playable, pretty good playable even. The first chapter as well as the prologue are both finished, and they offer lots of ideas, opportunities and information about what you can do. So even with chapter 2 not being finished, you can treat it as a sandbox game, and you can play everything and do everything you like up to the point when chapter 2 will be released. There have been a few updates in the past years, and chapter 1 actually added a whole new concept to the game, so it made it a lot more interesting. I have been playing the game, but I never done a restart after chapter 1 was added. So for the sake of the videos, I will do a complete new game right now, and hopefully I'm smart enough to remember that I need to add my name to my main character. First thing I need to do is adding an 8-digit number, and let's keep it simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, he can count. Yes, I can. And the next thing I have is the option to start at the Dauntless, or if I skip the Dauntless. Now, as it says here, if I create my main character and skip the Dauntless, which is more or less the prologue of the prologue, I will miss out a background story, a few boss fights, some nice loot, but most important, skill. You don't get skill from skipping the first area, so we will do the full universal generation including the Dauntless. And for those wondering what the Dauntless is, you'll see that soon enough. Now here's my next choice. I have to pick a starting ship and career bonus. And depending at those three parts of the game will develop. So the start before this was actually added was the Ferris Mace AK-7, and it's a nice ship. It's pretty fast, it's quite lightweight, so AK is standing for attacker, although it is called an interceptor here. Quite light, slow cargo space, the highest maximum speed, decent armor, 3 turrets and 1 missile turret, and with that you could be, well, it was the all-round ship. It's more a fighter career what you have now. You're getting a little bit more damage in both space and ground combat. for your active ship. So even if you switch to another ship later, you will still get the 5% damage bonus. The next choice is the Ferris Starhawk EXG, EX Explorer G. I don't know what G stands for. It's the largest ship, about 10 times as heavy as the Ferris Mace does, having 3 times, let's see, yeah, about 3 times the cargo space, but it's also a little bit more slow. And it kind of makes sense. As an attacker you want to go in, kill, go out. As an explorer you need some time to look, but still need to be fast enough to deal with anything that's attacking you. So it also has less armor, and that's a bit of a problem, because it makes you more vulnerable when you're under attack in space combat. Not to mention 3 missile and 1 light or heavy turret. So for space combat it's a little bit of the lesser ship. What advantages? Well, first of all, you get more money for your scan data, and scan data is gathered by moving through systems, scanning planets, and eventually you can even drop a beacon near a hyperspace gate, and all of that information is sold to faction agents, and we will encounter several faction agents over time, although they're not all implemented in the game yet. What's more important, you tend to find better equipment when looting chests and lockers. This means that having better armor, or better said, when looting you find better armor or better weapons, which can be used to make your character stronger and survive longer. And yeah, it adds on. There are different grades. We have the white, which is normal. We have blue, which are, I think, special. We have set pieces. It will all be explained later in game. Last but not least is the Target's MRCH2, or Merchant, like MRCHC, Merchant, which has a nice bonus. First of all, you got more mining turret speed, and you have a 10% drone mining speed. So when you want to become a miner and make most of your money by mining ores, refining them, which is a possibility, you can do it all 3 ships, and selling the refined ores or use it for crafting items and selling those, yes, this is the best ship. Moreover, it's got 3,100 cargo space, so you can hold a lot of items. And what's very important in this game, a lot of items actually stack. So if I'm mining an asteroid and I have 7 pieces of iron, a piece of copper, a piece of silver, 5 pieces of gold, it won't fill up those slots with 14 of my slots. Instead it will add 4 slots, fill up 4 slots with the items, and the 7 pieces of iron are all put in 1 slot. So with 3,100 cargo space you can hold a lot of items and ores. If you're able to refine it, you can even be able to sell a lot more as well, because even though you need a certain amount of unrefined ores to get the refined ones, yeah, Price wise it's always better. So with 3,100 cargo you're able to make a lot of money. Disadvantage, it will take some time to fill it up. To do that, to get there, you have the lowest maximum speed. Your armor is similar as that to the Ferris mace. So compared to its size, it's very lightly armed actually. The Explorer is even having a better armor size wise as a merchant ship does. You have 4 turrets and 2 missile turrets. So that's 6 turrets you can use to fight off attackers. And which also means if you want to do some mining, you can actually use 2 light mining lasers on mount point 1 and mount point 2. Use mount point 3 and 4 for different kind of weapons like gauss weapons or ion cannons, plasma cannons, laser cannons, whatever you want. And it's advised not to use mining lasers in combat, but you may be forced every once in a while. And eventually have 2 light missiles to deal with your opponent as well. So you're slow, you're big, you may look tasty, but you're still able to deal a lot of damage. So some would say, okay, that sounds nice, it's a nice choice. Well, there's a catch, and the catch is this. You get 10% profit when delivering trade orders found on the trade net. The problem with that, it's a transport this to that system kind of mission. You won't always find the amount of items needed. So even having those items makes it a little bit complicated to fill up on the mission. And I've been looking into it in my previous game, which I started with the Ferris mace, but it wasn't my cup of tea. So let's keep it to that. And with Callisto Mythic, vendors charge 10% less for everything, even ships. So while it sounds nice, it basically meaning you have to pay 10% less. They don't give you 10% more. And with that, yeah, you're saving money when you buy something, and eventually it's very likely that I'm going to do the same thing a lot of players did, which is switching ships if I'm in the mood to do something else after I've been able to buy those ships. But paying 10% less, not giving me 10%, charging 10% less and not giving me 10% more. So things cost less, but I won't make really much of a profit. Yes, it's a good thing if you're actually able to start working on the trade net and you buy stuff for 10% less and you sell it even for the normal price and get a 10% profit on it, because at that point you have a 20% or more difference in price, which is profitable. But for everything else, I don't see the use in it. So based upon that, the merchant is something I won't do. The bounty hunter is something I've done in a previous game, so I will go for the explorer this time, as the fact that I'm getting a 10% speed in FTL space faster than a light is very useful. I need to travel a lot in FTL at some point for the first chapter. And the 50% bonus to scanning, I have no idea what it does, if it's making my scanning more accurate or giving more information, or if it's range, but it's still useful. The bonus on the Ferris mace, No afterburner powertrain is nice. 10% speed in star systems is nice because most of the fights will be done in star systems anyway. But I'm going for the Explorer this time. And with that, we move over to the next part, which is our character creation. And I will pick my usual one, which is a guy. And given my age, I even make it an old guy. And I have to pick a name. I haven't figured out a nice name yet, but usually I'm picking a name based upon certain books. This time I'll take a name from another book. And I have to check the spelling. I think it's this. So, name done. Now I can assign points for my combat skills, supporting skills, and spacecraft skills. The first thing I may do is adding points in rifles and pistols, as well as explosives. Why? Well, it's a turn-based combat and I prefer to kill things from far away. Because if they get too close, they can actually hurt you, and when you hurt too much, you die. So that's a no-go. Pistols is nice for close combat, but still not too close. Shotguns is a main weapon. Submachine guns are an offhand or secondary weapon. So yeah, I can use it. One-hand and two-handed melee. One-handed melee can be used as both, I think both primary and secondary weapon, but it's a skill I will concentrate at later after pistols got the maximum level. Pugilism, I'm not planning to do a fist fight. Big guns, well, one disadvantage of big guns is you need to reload them each and every turn, so for now, no. I have chosen 3 skills. Usually I'd say let's pick another one in rifles, but I'm wondering, since pistol's going to be more slow, I will do that one. And pistols are, yeah, excellent. Fight from cover, except disadvantage. You crouch, you need to get up, shoot, and eventually crouch back, and that's always costing two times 1 action point. Now with rifles, as said, crouching gives a bonus. Same goes for shotguns. As long as I'm crouching, I will get a bonus. You're more stable to hit. And explosive is useful for a very simple reason. At some point I'm going to stun everything that's in the room, or a lot that's in the room, and have another character lob in a fragmentation grenade, and with the damage done from that, it's getting very close to mopping up. Now, next skills. I can choose 4 things: crafting, hacking, first aid, repair and salvaging. 4 of those are very important. The 5th is basically done by the AI team members as well. So what am I going to do? First of all, hacking. I will need it in the Prologue actually. And I need it to open up lockers and chests as well as doors. Then there's repair. I will need it. Why? Well, for two reasons. First of all, my gear, every piece of my equipment will wear out, so I need to repair it to make sure it's kept 100% effective. Second of all, at some point in ship combat in space, I'm able to board ships, and after I've exterminated the crew, or should I rephrase that and say after I've removed the crew, I will have to repair the systems, the parts of the ship I've been damaging before I was able to board it. So that makes repair skill easy. The other option I have with ships is salvaging. And with salvaging I will dismantle items either on the ship or armor or weapons or even junk items to get useful items as it said, I will need the items for my repair, but I can also find schedules, schematics, I think is the right expression, for crafting similar or even better items. Which brings me to the last one, crafting. Build things, sell them, make money. Or use them yourself. I'm able to craft items, and that's armor, it's weapons, it's even ship parts. And at some point, the better I become in crafted, the more overpowered eventually my things will be. So what I need is hacking to get the better items, salvaging to get the components to repair stuff and to craft stuff. That's basically what you do. First aid, yeah, like I said, it's nice, but it's a skill I will use over time anyway, because sometimes you have to use a health pack, so it will increase by use. Plus, there are several AI team members being able to use it, and during a fight I can let them do it. Leaving me with the bottom row: piloting, weaponry, electronics, targeting and mining. Piloting, flying the ship, the better the skills, the better you will start doing the flights, and with that it means better evasion in ship combat and faster flying. Weaponry means ship's weapons. Being able to operate it will increase my hit chances as well as damage and range. That's basically it. Electronics, it's the defense of the ship, as in shielding, but also making sure your ship can't be hacked. It will become more important the higher level opponents you reach, but over time I haven't seen much use of it when I was playing the Ferris AK. Targeting, yeah, I guess it says what it does. It's basically making sure you target the right part of the right ship to make sure the ship doesn't go boom but instead stops, which makes it easier for you to board it and get it. And mining is connected to weaponry if I'm not mistaken, and it's connected to that because you will use mining lasers, which are part of the ship's weaponry, to mine out asteroids or when you encounter a shipwreck to mine out salvage, better said, those old shipwrecks for ores and useful components. I won't put points in this because there's no need to. I will over time find an AI to do the piloting for me, and I have other team members doing the rest, and as said, weaponry and mining are combined, so I got 4 team members, so weaponry mining is 1 team member, electronics the second, targeting the third. And maybe when I'm not, or better said, when I'm able to use more crew at some point, I will even skip my ground team from doing either one of those skills and simply hire a space crew and have a ground crew, and being able to do the repairs myself, I'm the guy who's going to repair the ship. So that leads me to the last part, my attribute points. And what am I going to do with those? Well, first of all, I will drop them in intelligence because it makes me gain faster skill points, experience points faster. Perception, increase damage with my rifles, but also makes it easier to spot things. Endurance, hit point increase, that's always useful. Dexterity, able to do more damage, plus ability to hack computers and devices and repair. So for my main character, being a hacking, repairing, salvaging, crafting person, it's very useful. Then we have agility, useful to dodging melee attacks, and the AI will charge at me and start punching me or hitting me or whatever, as long as that harming me without any ranged weapons. So useful. Leaves me with 2 more points. First of all, strength. It gives me health points, and it gives an increase in damage for melee weapons, but I'm not going to be one of those guys who just charge in and slam everything around me. Instead, I prefer to drop it in perception, because yeah, more damage plus seeing better things. Now, with all of that done, got my name, got my points done, I'd say let's start up. There's a lot of text-based information coming up, but yeah, it's part of the game. It doesn't take away the charm. And there's the guide. I won't go over everything. In fact, I should have disabled it. But first, let's take a look around. We see here 4 some things, chairs that look like cryo chambers, and when I highlight something, we see this display is lighting up. So and we have a visual. So the first thing we have an amplifier, a trigger and an energy cell. We have as well a team, plus what we have here: stun grenade, gas grenades, 2 times small health packs, EMP grenades and smoke grenades. More important, my team is moving in a fixed formation. I can actually set the direction they're facing when selecting where they have to go. I can change the formation by selecting another person as team member, so that's number 1. Currently I have myself selected and I got 1 KR standard issue rifle to be my weapon. Using it cost me 3 action points. I have 25 bullets out of 100 in the magazine. I can reload, I can switch weapons, I can activate a medkit, and up here we have a grenade slot. So the first thing I will do is apply a stun grenade to me. Then we have the action panel, and this, that's funny, something weird came up, doesn't matter. This is my special skill, and it will take certain amount of turns before I can use it again. It's a very powerful one, and depending on the kind of ammunition I'm using, it also has different kinds. So snipe is set for bullets, but there's also one that's doing an overload, which is from beam weapons. So it depends at the kind of weapon I'm using. Plus I have something similar called focus fire for the pistol. Now we had this winged boot sprint. It basically doubles the amount I can walk when during a fight. Now I'm doing this wrong. During a fight I do have a certain amount of action points, and when I activate sprint, which takes 3 turns to refresh, I can actually move further, about twice as far, if I'm not mistaken. The other one in my main weapon is a barrier. Everyone is having this one, and it's a protective barrier. Now we see those flashing pluses at the character portraits, which mean those are the skills of my characters. And the first thing I need to do is actually open the inventory for a moment, because that inventory tells me the kind of weapons they're using, in this case rifle and submachine guns. And from there I can start allocating skill points, and in this case she's getting similar points as the main. My third character is using a sledge and pistols, which means he's going to be strong but somewhat more dumb. And the last character is using a knife as secondary weapon and a rifle as first, so she too will be getting better. Left. That's useful for a secondary weapon. I think I give her a point in charisma, because charisma is used for selling. And the funny thing is that charisma is one of those aspects, stats it says here, but one of those attribute points that work out for all characters. So one character with high charisma gives, it doesn't matter which one I have selected, as soon as I'm talking to a merchant, that high charisma is working. Now that's done. The log is still empty, and because of everything of settings, we're going to get, sorry, I'm still having a little bit cold for a while now. My melee guy, Mr. Iron Sledge, is going to move forward. And I will scan the environment every once in a while using the tab key. Now we're here. Let's do the long version so everybody knows what's the background is. escape pods, which means since we came from another area, this one leads to the elevator. Before I do the last one, we got some more gas grenades and health packs. And that's the elevator. So about those vets, he said there were 125,000 people aboard. However, I come to 124,800 if you do the calculation. So some way or another, we lost just over 260. Yeah, well, we can go to the elevator. Or not. So here we go, our first combat initiative shows that I'm first. So I will activate my barrier, activate sprint, and get myself moved there. That's 4 action points. Face my opponent, sit down, and I'm actually able to shoot. What do we see? Because I can bring up a sub-menu. Some resistances. Resistance to kinetic, bleeding, electro, toxic, explosive and thermal. Those don't seem very important, but they in fact are, because later we will be able to do different kinds of damage. And it's very useful to bring this part up to actually see what you can do. It's no use to shoot somebody with a weapon doing electric damage when that person is actually resistant to electrical damage. You will harm the person, but not that much. If you however find out that the same person is not having that much resistance to kinetic, the choice is simple. You switch to a weapon doing kinetic damage and try to hurt the person with that one. Now we got these special notes, BLD and CPL, HBL. I think CPL and HBL means cripple and hobble. BLD is most likely bleed. So I'm having a 2% chance to do bleeding damage, and when shooting the arms and legs I'm able to having a 5% chance to cripple or hobble. I can pick whatever I want to shoot, and in this case I do pick arms and miss. The nice part of fighting something that's actually alone is that I'm able to surround it and attack it with everything I have. And gone. Some old probe and smoke grenades, and this one was also lining up, but we got one ID badge named of a guy named Marty Devereaux and one data card. Now I can bring up first thing is reloading. Next, mission active. It doesn't show anything, but there is an active mission. And we have data from Marty Devereaux. Let's get in. And let's go down. Vats I can't enter. Crew deck I can. And we go down. So what's next? So over here we have something which I can't access, and that goes for this area as well, because they are escape pods again, which means we'll ahead, straight ahead. And once again we find something to attack us. It's getting close. So, all fights are in general the same. Which is funny, by the way. This guy is identified as Jason Taft. But we just learned that Jason Taft was killed. So... Usually I won't be this close, and I have a friendly fire to off for this very reason. And that reason is being able to shoot through your own teammate. It's a very painful experience you don't want to do. Now, next thing, left turn or right turn? Does it matter? Well, actually it does matter. This is a special action mayhem. Doing a lot of damage. An awful lot of damage actually, because she eliminated the first character. It's a very long shot. I'm not going to waste that special power to it. No need to do that this time. That's why I prefer to use that hammer. This time I am able to use that shot. Doing a nice crit. And that's it. That's what I call a good shot. What we see now are sparkling backpacks, and those nice sparkling backpacks usually contain items. Items I can pick up and use, and they end up in my inventory. I can mark them for selling or salvaging, but for now I will move some to my stash. Won't need that one. I will leave, and I move that one. That stash is a spare area. 200 items can be dropped in there. Weapons, armor, grenades, shields, health packs. Key items, I forgot what it was. Those are the additional, not junk items, but mods you can use on your weapons. And finally junk. I forgot what. Don't worry. So right now everything is close to 100%, so I won't need to repair everything. Over time I may. Let's check out. No, there's nothing in this living room. So the next. We get more smoke grenades. Locked, can't enter. That's a shame. Locked, can't enter. Yet. I will be able to enter it at some point. Nothing here. Nothing here. So let's head off to the other area. And well, looks like we got more visitors. Sarah Benz and David Graben. One of the keys in combat in this game, well, in a lot of turn-based games actually, is to make sure of choke points. I'm currently behind a choke point, the door, so I'm not going to move in that room. I just stay here and let the enemy get to me. Of course I shouldn't miss. this time I'm doing it differently. I'm going to skip this turn. Why? Well, because I want those monsters to get to me. And only after they do, I will be able to actually attack them a lot better with that hammer guy. I have to say, shooting is a pain. Finally. No rewards this time, only some experience points. And another locked door. And look at that, we got a survivor. Let's see if he has something to say. So we need to remember the key code 3782. Enter. Here we are. There are two things lighting up. First, frags and stun grenades, very useful. And next, EMP grenades and a hacking tool. soon as I need to hack something, and there's Marty Devereaux. Nothing else. I thought, no. So that's the advantage of my barrier. It's oh, wrong. It's a protective area which makes sure you won't be hurt immediately. This guy really kills a lot, actually. Nothing to fight here. Nothing to find there. And there is a terminal I can access here. And with that we move back to the log, check out data. First of all, Marty Devereaux. So we got some background information of our characters, but we still aren't in the labs yet. Let's move there and find out the door is locked. And we got the message, hacking skill improved. It's actually at level 3 now, so there's still nothing important. Same with pistols and rifles, or explosives, and even crafting, repairing and salvaging doesn't have any points. But we are getting there. And with this, I will save the game. And I thank you for watching, and hopefully see you again very soon.